Hi TikTok, someone asked me about a connection between randonauting and spirituality. Yes, I do think there is a connection. Randonauts is based on lab experiments done by Dean Radin and the Global Consciousness Project. So they proved in a lab that consciousness has an influence on random numbers. And they also deal with experienced meditators and people who use extended focus as part of their job. And so that those kind of people who are used to meditating for a long time can influence random number generators better than other people. So there's like this idea of intent and that energy flows where focus goes. This is like in the mythology dating back thousands of years, right? So there is sort of a link. Randonauts is based on ideas that are proven in labs, but they're also based on ideas that go back thousands of years in mythology, such as intent and like what you seek, you'll find. So be very careful and have fun. Thanks, Randonauts.
Hello, it is Editing Hannah. You're gonna see me a couple times here pop in. So this video started kind of like our last one did, as a follow you around type, randonauting, fun adventure type. And this is still kind of that, but it's also a timeline of some of the craziest synchronies that we personally have ever experienced in our lives. So I'm just gonna get right into the whole situation and let you guys decide what's going on for yourselves. Let's do it. All right, so our story actually begins on Saturday, June 20th. Now, I've included some pictures from an article about a train derailment that actually happened in our city. I actually have a clip of Courtney explaining what happened the next day, so I am going to insert that here.
Okay, so on Father's Day, Hannah and I went over to my dad's house, and we were just kind of like shooting the shit with him, and he was saying that he's seen a snake. And he's seen it in like the yard somewhere, and I said, that's so interesting, because I feel like growing up, I never seen wild snakes, and I've always been like outdoorsy with my dad. We used to always go to nature parks and stuff like that. And oddly enough, we'd never seen a snake.
Now, fast forward to the next morning. Okay, now bear with me here. It might be getting a little bit confusing, but I'm going to insert our text conversation on the screen right here, because the next day when I was out on my run, what do I see? A snake. Coincidence? You might think so. I'll give you that, but wait. So the next day, Tuesday, June 23rd, is the day that we decided that we were going to go randonauting for the second time and film it for the YouTube channel. Now, I'm going to insert the original footage. At this time, we had no idea what was going to go on, but we did end up seeing a snake literally together while we were filming the next day. So we are back in the car, and we are going to manifest a new spot. So we were discussing what we were going to manifest, and lately snakes have kind of been a point of conversation.
Reoccurring theme.
Yes, a reoccurring theme. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay,
so attractors are dense clusters of random points. Voids are the opposite. Anomalies are the strongest out of attractors and voids.
Okay,
so let's do
anomaly.
That.
Okay, so
and then manifest snakes. Just so you guys know, my boyfriend's in the back. Don't know if you can see him or not, but he's going to manifest with us.
Okay.
You ready to manifest, babe?
All right.
I'm wearing snakeskin fucking shorts, dude.
Ooh.
I just realized that.
And side note, we did see a snake earlier today, but that is going to be included in the story time. But
yeah, it's
the
been pretty
snake
crazy.
is just like the most clear thing.
All right, here we go. Anomaly found. Okay, so maps. I'm going to open it up and see. Oh, it's next to... Okay. So it's next to... Here, I'm going to kind of show a body.
We should take a screenshot,
water,
too, to put up on the...
For sure. All right, so I guess let's get into the directions and go.
So we are here. We have arrived at our destination. So next step, we're just going to go ahead and take those coordinates and punch them into a coordinate app so we can better reach our destination. Yeah, so it looks like we're actually going to have to set out on foot here across the train tracks, which will be interesting. So I do have the coordinates in here. I'm just going to go ahead and convert them. Show on map. All right, let's get out and start walking. Alright, so we've tried to get across a couple times, but because of the crash that happened a little while ago, there's a bunch of workers trying to fix it, and we're too sketched out to go across the tracks right now. So we're gonna come back over the weekend when they're not working, and we're gonna get across, because I do see like the clearing. Looks fucking beautiful with the
yeah, it looks super interesting over there, but it's just, I don't know, not in the broad daylight. It's just not the day for it. We did try to get across a couple times, but it's not.
We've been trying for like the past half an hour, honestly, and my phone is actually, what we're filming on now is about to die anyway, so we're just taking it as a sign from the universe that we should search for snake on Deacon. Okay, so as you can see, we didn't actually end up being able to get to the coordinates because of construction. So we decided to come back on Sunday when they wouldn't be working. Now, in the meantime, we actually went to a place called Partridge Island in St. John. And if you don't know where that is, you're gonna know next week because we're doing a video on it. So stay tuned. Okay, so this is where the plot really thickens. So at this point, we've already seen 2 snakes, right? You would think that the Randonauting app was done with us and this was enough. But no. On our way to Partridge, we seen 2 snake, I don't know how to describe it, symbolism. Anyway, I'm gonna tell you the story. So in order to get to Partridge Island, you have to get across this breakwater. I've inserted a picture. So on our way there, etched into a rock, I don't really know how to describe it. It was almost like sandwiched in, was this marking thing, picture. It was identical though anyway to a snake, identical. And then when we got on the island, the lighthouse itself, that's like sort of the main attraction on the island, really has a snake graffitied on it. Crazy. We were shook to the core at this point. So the next day I was scrolling through TikTok. Now I'm pretty involved with Randonauting, so the algorithm brought me to this page that is the guy who actually made Randonauts, which is cool. Now he had his own unique experience, what a coincidence, about a snake. Here's that.
So the third time I ever used Randonautica, I found this weird drum in the middle of the woods in the middle of Dallas. And then I go back another time with my friend, and there's this like snake earring laying across from that drum, and I still have that snake earring. I'll show you guys sometime. But then I go back another time and I almost step on a red rattlesnake. I didn't even know there were rattlesnakes in Texas that were red, but when I heard that rattlesnake rattle its tail, it permanently heightened my awareness. So that's probably the spookiest story I have from using Randonautica. Just shows, like, be careful because you never know what you find. You might step on a bright red rattlesnake.
I kind of thought that was kind of a cool little coinky dink that he also happened to have a situation happen with the snake. I just want to note that I don't think me finding his TikTok or anything is that notable. I went through like pretty much every single one of his TikToks, so obviously I was going to see the snake one. That's not a coincidence. It's a little Easter egg. I thought it was interesting. Anyway, back to the story. So Sunday is the day that we actually finally laid our feet on the coordinate spot that we randonauted, generated, whatever you want to call it. And here's the footage of that. So it is a Sunday. We tried to get over to the other side on Tuesday, but there's a bunch of people working on the train track, and as suspected, there's no one here today, so we're gonna hop over. So the actual spot itself, nothing really notable happened there, I gotta say. Now, we did make a couple connections. You know, a train is kind of like a human-made snake. We were kind of slithering around in the tall grass like snakes, but at the end of the day, I don't know if it's because we didn't get to the spot at the time that we generated the point, but nothing in particular happened on the grounds of the coordinates. So at this point, we were kind of disappointed that nothing spooky or crazy had happened at the coordinates themselves. But we did kind of discuss how it was pretty crazy, all the events leading up to us getting to this point. But the craziest, the most astronomical, the biggest coincidence in the fucking world, it blows my mind just to think about it, happened on Monday. Here's the footage of me talking about it as it's happening. Alright, so this is a shot of where I seen that snake. I was running up towards this way and it was right there. If I stand right here, if I look through the fucking trees, I don't think you can see. Wait, let me zoom in. If you can tell, that's the train tracks. I wonder what building is right there. I can't tell what it is. Okay, so the screenshot on the left is where I am standing, and the screenshot on the right is the coordinates that we generated when we were trying to manifest the snake. The spot where I seen the snake on that Monday, I can see the point that we generated, like physically see where it was. And the only reason I could tell is because of where that wreck was. And because I could see the wrecks through the trees, I made that connection. Crazy. Mind-blowing. Okay, and that's the sequence of events. So I actually, while I was scrolling through the Randonauts TikTok, seen him talking about how it's not necessarily just about the spot that you generate, but it's also about the journey to get there and sort of the sequence of events that it triggers. So I think it's pretty obvious from our experience that we definitely manifested something. I mean, that's 4 or 5 times. It's too many times to be a coincidence. I encourage you, I'm going to link below Nick Crowley's video on Randonauting. Be careful if you want to do it yourself. It is fun, but err on the side of caution. You don't want to mess with the universe. Let's just say that. So make sure you comment down below and tell us your experiences with randonauting, what you thought of our experiences, anything at all. We'd love to hear from you. And make sure you're subscribed for our Partridge Island video next week.
2, 1. So if you missed last week's video, we actually did randonauting twice already, and we will That's gonna be our outro, baby, for sure.
And
Okay.